and white trim. He tipped in at 224 1/4 pounds. Now this young pugilist is undefeated in 14 pro bouts with 3 knockouts. He is the current USBA heavyweight champion and is ranked number 7 by the IBF and number 8 by the WBA. All the way from Grand Rapids, Michigan, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome aboard Buster Mathis Jr. Mathis. And his opponent in the red corner, wearing the white trunks with the black and red trim. He weighed in at an even 247 pounds. Now this big guy has 34 wins, only 1 loss with 29 knockouts. Now get this, he is the former 1988 Olympic silver medalist, the former IBF and WBA heavyweight champion of the world, is ranked number 4 by the IBF and the USBA. From Brooklyn, New York, ladies and gentlemen, here is Riddick, Big Daddy Bowe. Bowe.
Good evening, Riddick and Buster. You both know the rules of the Jersey State Athletic Commission. Shake hands now. Come out boxing at the bell. Good luck.
That voice of Arthur McCanty was heard 26 years ago in the first event at this current Madison Square Garden.
Thank you,
between
John.
Joe Frazier and Buster Mathis Sr. for the heavyweight championship of New York, because Muhammad Ali was then in exile from his championship.
And can you believe, Larry, Mercanti is 75 years old.
He had that fight scored 5 rounds apiece when it ended in the 11th round with a knockout by Joe Frazier.
Bowe begins with the jab. Buster Mathis looking and waiting for the moment. Riddick in no hurry to get things started. Buster claimed that he would stay away from the jab via 2 separate strategies. Number 1, stay outside of it. Number 2, duck and slip inside of it. Sooner or later, as you point out, Gil Clancy, if he's going to do anything effective, he'll have to get inside where Bowe may be at his best.
Well, you know, that is Mathis' style. He's not fighting a usual Buster Mathis fight. He's trying to fight on the outside. Usually in fights, he moves in behind a left jab and then tries to pump quick combinations on the inside.
Right hand over the top as Mercanti calls for a break. Most effective punch so far for Buster Mathis Jr. Bowe has thrown a few jabs and otherwise is taking a good look.
And Mathis said he knows that he's smaller than Bowe, and he's going to try to take advantage and make himself even smaller to be less of a target. But right now he's standing straight up.
Bowe just misses with the right hand. Clocks Mathis with a couple of rights. Buster showing no ill effects so far.
There's that stiff jab of Riddick Bowe.
And that jab seemed to throw Buster for a little bit more of a loop than he expected. Now Mathis comes in behind a right to the body, takes a right to the body, and slaps Bowe on the head. Bowe landing that jab with effect now, Gil.
And again, he's shooting that right hand over Mathis's head. It would be better off if he started driving that straight right hand to the body and throw a left hook behind it.
Buster said he liked the prospect of going against a man who would have to punch down at him. A lot of fighters wouldn't think that was a very attractive set of circumstances. Good uppercut by Bowe. Mathis wobbled just a little bit. Buster doesn't look too steady on his feet, Gil.
He doesn't look too confident is the main thing, Jim.
A patient Bowe using his technique. Half a minute to go to the end of the round. Riddick obviously does not think that Buster can hurt him as he steps in. He just keeps looking for opportunities to throw punches. Doesn't have his hands up, just ready to throw.
Well, he may not hurt him, but it's possible to cut him.
And I thought Mathis landed more effective punches in that round.
With a big right hand.
Okay, come on.
Yeah. Keep the pressure on. Feint. When you get him in the corner or in the rope, he won't need feint. But he drives the...
You were tight as a drum. He hit you with 2 right hands. You saw them both coming. You got underneath them. Right? It's showtime now, buddy. You threw 1 3-punch combination, didn't you? And it worked. You're way too fast for this guy, buddy. You're way too fast.
Okay.
So now I want to go to work. All right? I want some noise out of you.
All right.
You saw that by punch stat numbers, Bowe landed 25 blows in the first round. 16 of them were jabs.
Buster Mathis fought an in-and-out fight. Not his typical fight in that first round, Gil.
No, usually he crowds you, tries to get off those quick hands of his. But this time he's fighting on the outside.
Well, it would appear that he agrees with you, Gil, that going inside against Bowe is likely to be a losing proposition.
Well, apparently they've scouted Riddick Bowe pretty well. And you know, in the fight with Holyfield, every round that Bowe came out jabbing, he would win the round, but then he'd forget to throw the jab and he'd lose the round. It was so obvious. And I spoke to Riddick about that yesterday, and I said, take a look at the tape. I think he should really be using his jab a lot more than he's using it right now. Double it up. Just keep the guy controlled, and then you can feint and hit him with combinations.
Right hand landed inside. Mathis takes another right after having thrown a flurry of punches. He catches Bowe with a left. And a right hand to the body by Mathis. And now he hugs the big man to stop the action.
Let's have a break.
Bowe had a couple of clear shots there and made them count.
He certainly did. He hurt him with that right uppercut to the body.
No, hold, stop. No kidney punches. No kidney punches. Let's go.
And we mentioned Bowe's weight. I think he's carrying a little too much weight right now, Jim. He should be down around 235.
Right hand hurt Mathis. But now Buster comes away from the ropes and begins bobbing and weaving. Another right hand lands. Buster Mathis taking a lot of punishment here in round 2 as he feels Bowe's power.
But again, Bowe should be punching to the body. You can move that head, but you can't move the body. Throwing too many punches over Mathis's head.
Stop holding, Buster!
Right hand over the top by Buster Mathis. He hasn't been as busy as his corner would like for him to be in these first couple rounds. Canty again saying no kidney punching. Gil?
He's being manhandled by Riddick Bowe right at the moment. Bowe's strength is just a little too much for him.
Bowe with brief flurries of punches, then he pauses, perhaps to rest.
Let's have a break.
Perhaps to regain a sense of what it is he wants to do in there. Round 2 coming to a close. Mathis goes to the body and then tries to set one up to the head.
Again, Bowe is trying to hit that elusive head instead of going to the body that doesn't move.
Buster Mathis Jr. has nothing going for him except survival skills and heart. This fight has already gone longer than a lot of people expected.
You're throwing over the top. Forget that right hand straight to the head. Go underneath your right hand.
Okay. His head button and everything, Pop.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
You got to step around to the right. Step around to the right. Go your uppercut. Go your left to the body. Step around to the right.
Okay.
Here's Bowe trying to measure Mathis, who's an elusive target here. Bowe still hasn't been able to land a clean punch, but he's landed some punishing punches. You think there's rust in here at work, Gil?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, you know, I don't like the idea that that Riddick Bowe is not only trying to fight Mathis, he's trying to referee the fight. The one time Mathis hit him a slap on the break, and instead of just going about his business, he made a couple of faces and walked around. You can't fight like a prima donna.
The very bad news for Mathis is that in the first 2 rounds, by punch stat numbers, he's thrown fewer than half as many punches as Riddick Bowe. His formula for scoring the huge upset here would have been to be the busier fighter.
And you know, between rounds, Arthur McCanty spent about 30 seconds in Buster Mathis's corner. I don't know why. Now is when Bowe should drive that right hand to the body. Anytime Mathis's back touches the rope, you drive that right hand. You're going to you're either going to hit him in the body, or he's going to block the punch, and you come back up with a left hook. But Mathis is teasing him by moving that head.
Solid right hand by Bowe as Mathis was coming in.
And now Bowe is pawing with his left hand. He's got to snap that left hand. He's trying to think past his left jab, which he shouldn't do.
He's thinking knockout at this point, which is part of what got him in trouble against Holyfield, as he himself admits.
When you say think past his left jab, do you mean that he's already thinking when he throws that punch what else he's going to do?
That's correct, and he's just pushing the jab. He forgets that when you snap the jab, you set the guy up, and then you can really nail him. But when you start pouring that punch out because you're looking to throw a right hand behind it, it takes a lot away from it.
That jab had a little snap on it. Those are offensive weapons, better than what came before. Now the right to the body and follow up.
All right, break, step back. Don't hit on a break. Step back.
Buster hasn't found a way to get inside without taking punishment.
Again, Buster's moving that head, and Riddick is trying to hit a moving target.
Missed it there, but came back with a couple of body punches. Buster landed a solid right to the face of Riddick Bowe. Bowe momentarily angered, threw a couple in return.
I think that may wake Riddick Bowe up. Up to this point, he was just stalking Buster Mathis with no concern at all.
It looks like he's slapping the side of a truck when he hits him with his best shot.
That's correct. Doesn't move him at all.
All right, break. Stop holding. Second warning.
Again, Bowe is punching, trying to hit a moving target. And
solid left and right inside by Mathis. They don't do any damage in terms of hurting Bowe, but they're score.
There's that sharp little uppercut of Riddick Bowe. It's really one of his best punches.
Good straight right hand by Bowe after a couple landed to the body. There's the jab and the right hand that followed.
Harold Letterman, 3 one-sided rounds, it looks like. How do you have it?
Larry, I got it the only way you can have it. 30-27, 3 rounds to nothing. Riddick Bowe. Yeah, Riddick Bowe's really hitting him with everything. The jab, the hard right hand coming down, the uppercut. Buster Mathis goes into the trenches with him, gets out-punched, runs away from him, gets out-punched. Buster's a game-gutty guy, moving, giving us a lot of movement, getting in a few punches, but Riddick is just too busy and too big.
What round is this?
Okay.
4 coming up. Okay. You got to get to work.
Here you see Mathis staying under him and just doing the best with what he has. If you rated fights on how is a guy performing according to his ability, Buster Mathis might be winning this, Gil.
He gets 100% of himself every time he goes in there. But again, he just wasn't blessed with a big punch. And that's a very important thing for a heavyweight.
How do you think Bowe is doing up until now? Is he a little tentative? Is he not sharp?
I don't think he's sharp. I really think that he has been a little tentative. He hasn't fought in 9 months. And he just, he's not charged up. Maybe if Mathis hits him with a couple of good punches, it may wake him up a little bit.
Does he need rounds? Is having rounds good for him?
Well, yes, I would have to say so. The more rounds he gets in this fight. But again, he keeps punching down with that right hand and keeps missing. I don't know why he just doesn't keep bombing to the body with that right hand. Then he'll be able to hit him on the chin with no problem at all.
He landed an uppercut about 20 seconds ago that lifted Buster's left foot off the canvas. Now Bowe landing inside, but this time Buster elects to keep hanging in there. Keeps the shoulder against Bowe, keeps throwing, lands a left to the head.
And again, their heads are clashing now, and that's again one of the hopes that Buster Mathis has to get lucky and bust Riddick Bowe up.
And Buster is making a concerted effort here in round 4 to stay inside. Now this is the fight plan by which he might hope to succeed. Because of hustling and work like that. And that took a hard right hand, but landed one first.
You know, it's a funny thing, Jim. Most guys that can't punch can really take a good punch. It's usually the big punches that when they get nailed with a solid shot, they go. And Mathis is no puncher, but apparently he can really take a punch.
Little blood trickling out of the mouth of Buster Mathis Jr. right now. More than halfway into round 4.
And you know, Riddick Bowe is not bending his knees inside. Now he hurt Mathis with that right hand.
That was a terrific right hand, and Buster is flat-footed at the moment. Ducking and slipping.
Bowe has missed 7 straight big shots. And then he knocked him down while he was down. And he could get penalized for that if the referee won. He was on one knee.
Fight could be over. Mercanti is stopping the fight. Now it remains to be seen what decision Mercanti's going to make here. Mathis had a knee on the canvas.
And Mercanti is warning Riddick Bowe. Is this fight in Mercanti's hands, Harold Letterman?
Absolutely. Well, the disqualification. After McKenty, 50 seconds of foul, could disqualify Riddick Bowe.
If Buster Mathis can continue, there's no question. It's up to McCanty.
No question that he did hit him when he was down. His knee was obviously on the canvas. Must have been on the canvas 2 or 3 seconds before Riddick Bowe finally landed that final punch.
Now, Larry Hazard is meeting with Arthur McCanty. They're talking it over. This may be a disqualification win for Buster Mathis Jr.
The fight is definitely over. There will be no resumption of the action.
I stopped the fight because I could see that he was not able to continue, and it's considered a KO. That's all. It's a KO. Now, what you want to do is up to you as far as fine. I think
we'll deal with that. We'll deal with that part. Okay.
Yeah, we'll call it.
You're hearing Larry Hazard talking to the referee Arthur McCanty.
What I would do.
McCanty is saying he stopped the fight because of KO, and the rest is up to Hazard. So now it's what is Hazard rule?
And I didn't count. He's knocked out. But he has to be reprimanded for what he did.
But he knocked him out. He knocked him out after the bell. So here's what we're saying. Why don't we? Yeah, but the point is, we hit him after the bell. We had to determine. Do we feel that it was? I didn't think it was intentional.
No,
I didn't think it was.
He was in the stream. He was in the stream. He was in the mood.
Unintentional.
Yeah, he was in the stream.
But he was down. It was unintentional. He was down. So we will go to the scorecards like it was a regular foul. Okay? You know, we would go to the scorecards like it was a headbutt because it was an unintentional foul. He can't continue.
It's only the 3rd round.
Okay, so then it's a. It
They
can't.
can hear me here on my mic. You better cut this one off.
Cut our mic. Cut the mic.
Yeah, cut it off.
Technical draw.
You're hearing Larry Hazard saying that this fight is a technical draw.
Well, he hadn't said it yet, Larry. He's considering the possibility, but he has not said that yet.
We'll talk to all of these principals as soon as they make a decision.
Riddick Bowe waiting, as you see. Discussion continues in the ring.
It's not okay.
Larry Merchant turns over 3 glasses of water while stepping up from our table into the ring.
Yeah, but I have a waterproof suit, Jim, so it's okay.
It's the best waterproof tux on the market, isn't it, Gil?
It certainly is. I figured I'd be working in the rain someday.
They managed to get away from our effects microphone far enough that we can't hear the details of the conversation anymore. But we'll be talking to all 3 of the principals in this affair, including Mercanti, and I presume Larry Hazard, once all of this has been settled. There's Buster Mathis Jr., and your mind goes to Buster Mathis Sr. sitting at home in Wyoming, Michigan, a man somewhat debilitated by a heart attack and a series of strokes, and I wonder how his heart is handling this one, Gil.
Boy, this is really a tough one. And, you know, I'd like to see a replay of Buster Mathis on his knee and see how long before Bowe landed that punch.
Well, we'll certainly see that. A further observation, Harold Letterman.
All right. Wait a minute.
He's getting up. He was getting up.
Harold, I don't think you're open. All right. Larry's standing by right now with Larry Hazard.
Larry Hazard, give us your ruling, please. And you hear the crowd giving its verdict. Everybody saw clearly that Riddick Bowe hit Buster Mathis Jr. when he was down.
3 rounds in the fourth round.
Larry Hazard now describing his interpretation to Bowe's manager, Rock Newman. Here's the replay, Gil.
And you can see Bowe trying to work on the inside. And Mathis just goes down to one knee. I mean, he really wasn't hit. He just decided to take a timeout. And that's when Riddick Bowe nailed him. But it was long after he was down on one knee.
Another look at the damage being done by Bowe. Mathis voluntarily, it seemed, going to one knee as if he wanted to take an 8 count to clear his head. And then Bowe landing the blow that put him on his back. Now, it seemed apparent from the conversation we overheard previously that Arthur Mercanti's interpretation of this was that he was going to stop the fight because of Mathis's inability to fire back against Bowe. And he regarded the foul as a post-decision affair. Larry Hazard does not seem to feel the same way.
And that wasn't right. And I went to the corner and I told him so.
It's a no contest.
It's no contest. It's no contest. I kind of think to solve the whole thing is fine him about $5,000 or $10,000.
Well, we'll do about the fine. That's a no contest.
It was an intentional foul, and he was knocked out on an intentional foul.
Okay. Excuse me.
Since we can no longer hear the discussion while we're looking at this, if I can get the truck to open you, Harold, let's get Harold Letterman's microphone open, and very quickly, Harold, your further interpretation.
Jim, I'm under the impression that in Jersey you go to the scorecards on a foul after 5 rounds have been completed. Before that, it's a technical draw. So therefore, they can't go to the scorecards. If Hazard says that Mathis got knocked out by a foul, they can't go to the scorecards. They've got to declare it a technical draw, or Riddick Bowe loses on a disqualification.
That is indeed the way the rule is written. And you see manager Brian Lee trying to explain to Buster Mathis Jr. what's going on. All right, let's take a look at the knockdown in regular speed and the events that surrounded it very quickly.
You can see Bowe landing some fairly solid punches. And then Mathis was down on his knee. He was down at least 2-3 seconds, Jim, before. And Riddick Bowe just looked at him down on his knee and nailed him.
I disagree. I don't think that's 2 or 3 seconds. I think that's maybe a second or a second and a half. I'll also say that in my own personal opinion, if Mercanti says he was going to stop the bout prior to that last punch because of the damage that was being done there, that would be seen as an enormously premature stoppage.
I would have to say so because most of the punches that Bowe was throwing were missing.
All right, let's go to ring announcer Ed Darian for the official decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Convention Center here in Atlantic City, New Jersey, an intentional foul sustained to Principal Buster Mathis Jr. Therefore, the New Jersey State Athletic Control Board declares this bout a no contest. A no contest at 2 minutes and 11 seconds of the 4th round. No contest.
Well, it becomes the second no contest of Buster Mathis Jr.'s career. At least a minor disappointment for Riddick Bowe, who does not get the expected knockout victory. Buster Mathis holding his arms up in triumph as if to say that he proved something by lasting long enough to get a no contest. And now let's go to Larry Merchant with the chairman of the New Jersey State Athletic Commission, Larry Hazard.